Hey everybody, welcome back. It is wedding season and y'all know what that means. Bridezillas. It means bridezillas. My twin asked me to be her maid of honor but told me I had to grow my hair out. Oh, that's petty. Let me just look at that bride's face for just 1 second. I mean, I dig the buzz cut on you, girl. Like, I think it looks really good. I don't know. I'm on the fence about this one, guys. I have heard of people say that they don't want certain people in their wedding because, you know, they've got blue hair or they've got like tattoos and stuff. While I understand the aesthetic of a wedding is like important, you want people to match, but that's your twin sister, so accept her as she is.
Does anyone have just some like absolutely bananas wedding drama?
Listen, honey, I own a bridal beauty company. I do wedding hair and makeup, have for 12, 13 years now. Listen closely. So one of my first brides that I had that was affected from all the COVID stuff had to reschedule. This was back in June, and everything was great. Her trial run was great. She was really quiet, really sweet. Gotta worry about them. On the day of, somehow it gets to her that he has drank a beer and has been sipping on a beer during that day. The groom and bridal suite were across the hall from each other. The bride proceeds to call the groom and tells him to come outside or else there will be no wedding. This was mid-makeup. So the irony of this is that she had been drinking a margarita with pretty much straight tequila the entire morning.
Well, if that ain't hypocritical, I don't know what is. I feel like maybe a little more context might be necessary. Like maybe he was an alcoholic or something, in which case I would understand. But also if your partner is an alcoholic, I feel like drinking around them, probably not the best idea. So I'm gonna go with this one was a bridezilla. I would also like to address a concern. Wedding experts say it's time to retire the term bridezilla. The YouTube algorithm says otherwise. While I do not agree that you should call anyone who's getting married who acts, you know, a little bit erratically, maybe she has a breakdown or two. Weddings are very high stress situations, all right? So we don't want to just call any bride a bridezilla for wanting things a certain way, for expecting people to, you know, treat her with respect, respect her wishes, and the groom's wishes. Not everyone is a bridezilla. There isn't a fine line between bridezilla and just someone who's really frickin' stressed out on her wedding, okay? Bridezilla is branded a mean girl for buying her engaged friend's dream wedding gown for herself, claiming it was okay because she tried it on first. Reddit user NotYourMother93 shared her story in the Am I the A-Hole subreddit, saying she was wedding planning after getting engaged in October. She noted her friend hasn't made any wedding plans of her own despite being engaged. The bride explained before she went wedding gown shopping, her friend showed her the dress that she wanted and claimed it to be hers. It's not looking too good for ya. When she went dress shopping that weekend, she tried on the gown on a whim and bought it because she felt like a princess in it. Her friend argued that she had ruined her wedding vision by buying the dress. Critics dubbed her a terrible friend and mean girl, but others said that her friend had no right to claim the dress for herself. I think one of the reasons why bridezillas are bridezillas is because they do plan these things for a long time, years and years. If you had an eye on a wedding dress, it's the same thing with a dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really like a guy and you say, I really like him, if your friend goes and steals that guy from you, she's a bad friend. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, don't say that about every guy because that's not fair. But if you there's plenty of wedding dresses out there, all right? I'm gonna go with you're a bridezilla because that's kind of messed up. All right, here was what some people said on Reddit. The bridezilla move is getting the same dress as your friend where there are hundreds if not thousands of options out there. Her friend isn't a bridezilla for sharing her dream dress and being upset about her friend who bought it for herself. Can y'all let people have things sometimes? Let them enjoy things, let them feel special. It's so inconsiderate and tacky to take something away from your friend like that. She should have kept looking. Just because you liked the dress on you doesn't mean that there weren't other options that you would have looked amazing in. OP should have kept looking. She didn't accidentally pick the same dress. That would be different. She did it knowingly. I don't think it's a Bridezilla thing, it's just a mean-spirited thing. A friend asks you nicely not to do something, you agree, you go and do it anyway, and then get annoyed that they're upset. None of that screams
Nice person
to me. Here's the thing though, it isn't about the dress, it's about not caring about the friend at all. Opie's friend obviously knew she was dress shopping and showed her the one not to get. She goes to 5 different stores, sees hundreds to thousands of dress options, and specifically picks the one her friend asked her not to. I know, this is so messed up. Hell no! The bride admitted to having an overwhelming feeling of guilt when she decided to purchase the dress. Really? That's great. That means that you are a person with feelings. Congratulations. But her mother and bridal consultant shrugged off her concerns. They both reassured me that she had unfairly put me in this situation and I should wear the dress for my wedding if I felt good in it. You're the a-hole, you're the a-hole, you're the a-hole. Yeah, honestly, based on what you have chosen to share with the class, you are the a-hole. That's how I feel about it. And this is my YouTube channel. What I say is, POV, you have a bridezilla for a sister. I want you to choose and order the Cinnafan cake. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but let's go with it. Is that something you can handle? I will kill you. I don't answer to you. Do you not know how this works? Shut up. Now you're saying I'm rude? I'm going to have words with you. It seems like you already are, sweetheart. B words. I'm going to kill you. Pick up the phone. Get there now. I'm going to kill you. Pathetic people. Why are you taking the piss for? Shut up. I mean, I'm gonna have to read your side of that text message conversation, but that was kind of funny. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Hilarious, darling. Silly, silly.
Here are some reasons I've seen brides get called bridezillas on their wedding days. Because they wanted a private first look with their future husband, but the bridesmaids wanted to watch. When a bride wouldn't let a bridesmaid walk down the aisle because the bridesmaid showed up in a blue gown when the agreed upon color was pink. When a bride snapped at her guests because not one, not two, but 3 phones went off during their technology-free ceremony. In my experience in events and weddings, people will call someone a bridezilla for exercising literally any opinions on their wedding day. Also, this is probably going to be a very unpopular opinion, but if you say yes to being a bridesmaid, you should go into it expecting to take at least a little bit of attitude from the bride the day of. I don't mean disrespectful screaming or anything like that, but that bride is going to be extremely stressed, extremely tired, they probably didn't sleep well, they have a lot to do, they're incredibly nervous and excited, and so many emotions are going around. And some of those emotions are probably going to boil into something else at some point. It's not personal, they're just going through a lot. And as their bridesmaid, it is your responsibility to be there for them, to support them and help them through it, not to tell them off.
You make a fair point. And you know what? As someone who is an expert on bridezillas, I agree. But let's get back to the bridezillas. Bridezillas!
Let's talk about a bridezilla. A few
Is
years
that
ago, I
cool?
had a friend recommend us to a bride for some
it's
bridal
henna.
henna. So the bride reached out asking about availability and prices, and we sent her all our info. A few days later, she gets back and says, the minimum wage in Las Vegas is $8 an hour, so I feel like $15 an hour is more than enough. Plus, you're young, so you're not that experienced. I was like, girl, what? So I told her I had been doing it for 14 years and my prices were as previously mentioned. Keep in mind, I already applied a discount because she was a friend of a friend. And she told me she needed a few more days to think about it. Gets back to me and says, I found this henna artist in California. She's been doing it for 20 years and she charges less. So it doesn't make sense to me that you charge more. At this point, I was like, I don't even want to do your henna. So I said, I apologize if I'm out of your budget. Here are some other henna artists in the area. Best of luck and congratulations.
I mean, she could have just been lying about the other person who said she's been doing it for 20 years and would charge less. You do you, boo. Know your worth. That's what's up. Apparently, this is what a bridezilla looks like. Okay, ready?
I don't care if I'm making you mad. Oh, for the girls. All right, so at my Airbnb, I think only 4 cars can be in the driveway. And I'm right number city because they're not on the list anymore. Is he here? Can you, Tina, don't play with me. I'm not playing. Leave me.
Talking, talk over you.
Alright, don't get
My dear, you look very, very pretty, but I feel like this is accurate, you know, like a little bit. She looks quite commanding indeed. I love like this face, like this, like she's so upset, dude. But listen, you know what? It's okay. It's your wedding. You can give a little tude to some people. Just don't be disrespectful. Bridezilla is slammed after revealing she wants to ban elderly guests from her wedding because her fiance's grandmother with Alzheimer's is depressing and might ruin the day. Things are not looking too good for you right now, my dear. Am I the a-hole for not wanting old people at my wedding? I, 30 female, am getting married to my fiance, 31 male, in the fall, and we're planning the wedding. Both of us have big families, so we're trying to figure out how to make our guest list work with our budget. Our grandparents are all in their 80s, and his grandmother has Alzheimer's. She forgets who people are, doesn't know where she is a lot of the time, and sometimes she just randomly starts crying or yelling, and it's really depressing. Both of my grandparents also have health issues and demand a lot of care and attention. I really don't want any of this to ruin our big day. I don't want his grandma shouting or making noises during the ceremony, or my grandpa needing help and being a big distraction. And I feel like people are going to be paying a lot of attention to them instead of the wedding and the wedding couple. So my fiance and I decided that we don't want anyone over 70 at the wedding and are making a blanket rule so it's fair to everyone. I think they would be bored and more comfortable at home anyway, and it's an opportunity for their caregivers to come out and relax and have fun without worrying about caregiving responsibilities for the evening. My fiance is on board, but the rest of my family is upset. Am I the a-hole? You know, as someone who would love to have her grandparents see her get married one day, but definitely won't because they're dead. All of them. I don't even need to read the responses to assess whether or not I feel like you're the a-hole. That's just my opinion. Amazing thing about Alzheimer's is there are occasionally little glimmers of moments where they remember things and they kind of snap out of it. Sometimes it's something like a song. So why are you assuming that it's going to be bad, you know? It could go both ways. I appreciate that you're not just applying this rule to your fiance and you're also applying it to yourself and your own grandparents. But I mean, I think you're gonna regret that because they're not gonna be around forever. And I think that it would be nice if you invited your elderly grandparents to your wedding. Here's what Reddit said. Jesus Christ, you have to be kidding. You are the worst. You're the a-hole. For real, you're the a-hole. If my cousin or sibling was getting married and tried to pull this crap, I would 100% skip their wedding and take my grandparents out for dinner or something. And I'd implore my other family members to do the same. You're the a-hole, wow, you're both lucky to have your grandparents alive for your wedding. That's how I feel, and this is the way you treat them. My grandma died 6 weeks after my wedding, cancer. I treasure the moments I had with her that weekend. I've been married 10 years and still have a picture of us from the wedding on our fridge. She was sick on our wedding day, but she was determined to make it to that day. She declined rapidly, but peacefully after that. Oh, that's just so sad. I think everyone can agree. Not a good move. Blowing up balloons for my sister's surprise engagement tonight while she texts me that he's never going to propose. Okay. Do you know if Matt's proposing before my birthday? I'm getting, like, mad. Like, WTF. I'm just sick of waiting. You date someone for 6 years and tell me there's no rush? I'm just sad. It's Matt's fault. Can you just tell me if it's before my birthday? I love that. I love that, you know, there's going to be a surprise party and she just has no idea. But you know what? If I was dating someone for 6 years and he hadn't proposed yet, I'd be a little pissed off too. I'm not going to lie. Alrighty, guys. Those were the first Bridezillas of the season. It's going to be a fruitful year. Subscribe!